Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're inviting you on a kind of a unique journey. We're going to a place where ancient healing meets really cutting-edge sound.
That's right. We're talking about the legendary Termas del Arapey in Uruguay.
Exactly. And our mission in this deep dive, well, it's to explore this fascinating new project. It blends ambient soundscapes, indigenous voices, and even AI collaboration.
Yeah, all to capture the spirit of these incredible hot springs.
We're diving into material from a very recently released article published today, actually.
It's about this project, yeah. The title is Termas del Arapey, Aguas de la Nueva, a musical journey through Uruguay's healing waters.
It's an immersive album by TATANKA, and it aims to be sort of a musical response to what sounds like a truly special place.
It really is.
So you can imagine this isn't just about, making music. It's about memory, ritual, renewal. Given how complex a place like Arapey sounds, what are the unique challenges when you try to translate its essence into sound?
Well, what's fascinating here is how this project offers a really unique lens. We can explore, multiple vital aspects through it,
Like what specifically?
like the cultural and ecological significance of the place itself, the whole creative process of turning that place into sound,
Right.
and then, crucially, the opportunities that can emerge for the community for sustainable development when art and, well, local stewardship really connect.
Okay, we've hinted at this profound spirit of Termas del Arapey, but to really get how this album captures it, we probably need to dig a bit deeper into what makes these waters and the land around them so powerful.
Definitely.
So where exactly is this place, and why is it so significant?
Okay, so Termas del Arapey is nestled in the Salto department that's in northwestern Uruguay.
Okay.
And these thermal waters, they've been celebrated really since their discovery back in the early 1940s. They're fed by these deep subterranean aquifers. It's quite a profound natural wonder.
So it sounds like a key insight for any project like this, any place-based work, is that you can't just look at the physical stuff.
Exactly.
To really capture a landscape, you have to delve into those sort of invisible layers, the human memory, the rituals, the natural history, all the things that make it unique, maybe even sacred.
That's a great way to put it.
So beyond just, warm pools, what makes Arapey this landscape of memory, ritual, and renewal you mentioned?
Well, beyond the tourism aspect, Arapey sits within this broader landscape that's shaped by rural livelihoods, really vibrant riparian ecosystem.
Riparian, so river-related.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Riverbanks, the life along the rivers. And there's a rich layered human history there, too, including significant indigenous influences.
Oh, okay.
And you can find echoes of these in the local language and ritual practices, even in material culture. It makes the place feel deeply resonant.
That deeper understanding of the land's history.
Yeah,
Yeah, that seems absolutely vital for creating authentic art about a place.
it really is.
And ecologically, you mentioned these springs are described as sensitive nodes. What does that mean for the environment around them? What are the implications?
Right. Imagine them as these vital ecological junctions. They're places where deep groundwater, surface rivers, and all the unique plants and animals that depend on very specific conditions.
Like the constant temperature and water quality.
Exactly, where all that converges. So any disturbance there, even something that seems minor, it can ripple right through the whole interconnected system.
Okay, wow.
That's why working in a place like that, it demands, well, profound respect for its natural balance.
That makes perfect sense. So then how do those indigenous threads you mentioned weave into this specific project? You talked about Guarani influences, even though we mostly associate Guarani with Paraguay.
Right. While Guarani is definitely strongest in Paraguay, its historical linguistic presence actually extends into parts of Uruguay.
Yeah.
And local indigenous memories are really vital cultural resources there.
So how did the project handle that?
Well, incorporating any indigenous elements, whether it's phrases or chants or ideas, it seems it was done with immense respect. Proper attribution, community permission.
Ah, permission is key.
Absolutely. It shifts the whole thing from, potential appropriation towards a genuine partnership. It ensures the storytelling is shared, not just taken.
That commitment to partnership sounds crucial. And speaking of ethics, the article ties this project into something the Uruguayan biologist and political ecologist Eduardo Cadenas calls a biocentric ethic.
Yes, that's right.
There's a really profound insight from him quoted, "La naturaleza vale por sí misma, independientemente de la utilidad o de los usos que le dé el ser humano."
Yeah. And that translates roughly to Nature is valuable in itself, independently of the utility or uses that human beings give it.
Wow.
It perfectly encapsulates that biocentric ethic. It's all about recognizing nature's intrinsic value, not just what we can get from it, you know?
Right, not just its utility.
Exactly. And this perspective, it aligns really naturally with creative work that tries to celebrate these springs rather than, say, exploit them. It kind of models how art and science and community stewardship can actually coexist and, well, enrich one another.
It sounds like a really holistic approach, where the art itself becomes almost an act of stewardship.
I think that's a fair way to look at it.
But thermal tourism itself, it has a double edge, doesn't it? I mean, it helps local economies, sure, but it can also reshape landscapes quite drastically. How does this project navigate those existing social patterns around Arapey?
That's a really important point. Arapey's reputation as a healing place means any artistic initiative, or tourism for that matter, has to acknowledge the existing social patterns.
Like what kind of patterns?
Well, things like pilgrimage-style visits during holidays, long-standing family traditions connected to the springs, and just the seasonal rhythms of the local businesses that depend on visitors.
So the art can't just ignore all that.
Exactly. Artistic interventions, to be respectful and effective, they really need to integrate into those realities, not disrupt them unnecessarily.
Okay, so if the site itself demands such sensitivity, how did the artists actually approach the creative process? This isn't just about sticking a microphone out, is it? It sounds like it's about deep engagement.
Oh, definitely not.
I'm really fascinated by the challenge of translating that engagement into sound. The source mentions a blended methodology.
Indeed. The album Arapey Echoes, Aguas de la Renueva, it was conceived through this really unique blend. You've got field recording, traditional instrumentation, the human voice, and interestingly, AI-assisted sound design.
AI-assisted, okay.
Yeah, it's a truly contemporary approach to creating place-based art, I think.
So let's break that down. To anchor the work directly in the place, what specific sounds did they capture with the field recordings?
They recorded things like the sound of rain on leaves, which can be very evocative. Also, the unique timbre of Arapey's thermal runoff itself, the water sounds.
Ah, the water itself.
Yeah, and local birds, of course, and even just the background sounds of human presence. These give it an immediate authenticity that, purely synthetic textures just can't replicate.
Right, that makes sense. And then how did they layer in the human element? What traditional instruments did they use and what role did those play?
They use traditional instruments like the charango and the quena.
Okay, familiar Andean sounds.
Exactly.
Mm.
And importantly, they were performed by local or at least regionally informed musicians. This layers that human technique, that cultural expression, onto the raw field recordings. It creates this really beautiful dialogue between past and present, nature and culture.
Okay, now this is where it gets, incredibly intriguing for me. The AI component. How exactly were AI tools used as co-creators here? What did that look like?
Right. This is fascinating. So AI tools were used to creatively manipulate and sort of reimagine the sounds they'd captured. Think of it as extending the human artist's imagination.
Extending their imagination. How so?
Well, maybe the AI helped to unlock hidden melodies or sonic possibilities that were already sort of latent within the sounds of the thermal waters or the natural soundscapes.
Huh. Interesting.
But crucially, it did this while preserving the authentic feel of the original material. The core principle here seems to be technology augmenting human practice, not replacing it.
That's a really powerful distinction. Augmenting, not replacing. Technology revealing hidden patterns, maybe, without erasing the human trace.
Precisely. That seems to be the goal.
And what about the vocals? The language choices? There must have been intentionality there, too.
No, absolutely. Intentionality matters hugely in a project like this. The language choices using Spanish, Guarani, even bilingual fragments were clearly meant to reflect local realities and the project's ethical commitments.
So how did they ensure that was done respectfully?
It involved collaboration, working with native speakers, with cultural leaders, with local artists, all to ensure linguistic accuracy and, more importantly, meaningful representation. It fosters that shared storytelling idea we talked about, rather than a one-way imposition of meaning.
Right, collaboration again. And then on the technical side, how did they make sure the quality was there, but also maintain transparency throughout the production?
Well, technically, they prioritized high-quality capture, good microphones, careful positioning, the basics done well. But crucially, there's also transparent crediting. The metadata, the liner notes, They list the recording locations, the dates, who the local contributors were. This ethical dimension, this transparency, it's a really significant part of the project's integrity.
It sounds like it. So for you, the listener, putting on this album, how does the sonic arc unfold? Is there a narrative? What kind of experience does it aim to create?
Yeah, there definitely seems to be an intentional structure. The album is apparently designed to mirror a kind of healing cycle.
A healing cycle, like what?
Like starting with arrival and immersion in the waters, moving through a sense of rebirth or renewal, and then finally a return.
Ah, okay.
So this structure, it allows you, the listener, to kind of inhabit it as a pilgrimage almost, rather than just listening to a collection of songs. It's really an invitation to a more transformative experience.
That sounds quite profound. Now, thinking about the impact, the sustainability of a project like this, how does it flow forward, so to speak? What's the strategy for keeping people engaged, both the audience and the community?
Well, they've adopted what the article calls a modular release strategy. It's designed to build sustained engagement over time.
Modular. What does that involve?
Things like having a central album landing page online, but also releasing track-by-track essays that go deeper, maybe short documentary videos showing the recording sessions.
Oh, behind-the-scenes stuff.
Exactly. And social media posts that specifically spotlight the collaborators and local partners. All these different elements work together to kind of keep the conversation alive around the project.
And that commitment to ethical transparency we discussed earlier, how is that actually maintained when they distribute the work, present it to the public?
That seems paramount. Every digital asset apparently includes clear provenance information.
Provenance, you mean like where it came from?
Yeah, who recorded what, where they recorded it, and crucially, under what cultural permissions, if any, were needed.
Right.
And importantly, any pieces that were significantly AI generated are explicitly labeled and explained. This does two things. It educates listeners about the hybrid nature of the art.
Which is interesting in itself.
And it strengthens trust in the project's overall integrity.
So it's not just about, getting the music out there. It's ensuring every step, from creation right through to distribution, reinforces that ethical commitment, that transparency.
That seems to be the idea.
And I guess doing that would definitely broaden the album's reach beyond just, say, ambient music fans or niche audiences.
Precisely. It extends the potential audience to travelers interested in Uruguay, to environmentalists, to anyone who's just culturally curious. By fostering that trust and transparency, the project invites a much wider and potentially more meaningful engagement. It draws a diverse audience into the story of Arapey.
Okay, finally, let's touch on sustainable economic opportunities. How can artistic projects like this, when they're designed sensitively, actually provide lasting benefits for the local communities involved?
Well, they certainly can provide economic opportunities for local craftspeople, maybe tour guides, cultural bearers who share their knowledge.
Right.
But the article really emphasizes that these benefits are most durable, most meaningful, when the projects go beyond just like a one-off promotion.
What does that look like?
It means including things like revenue-sharing models,
Yeah.
perhaps skill exchanges, and making longer-term commitments to building local capacity. That's really key to true sustainability and genuine community empowerment, rather than just a temporary boost.
That makes a lot of sense. Wow, what an incredible deep dive this has been. We've journeyed, sonically at least, through Termas de Arapey,
Yeah, mentally journeyed.
exploring how this project really beautifully intertwines nature, culture, and technology. It really highlights the power art can have, doesn't it? To honor a place while opening up new pathways for, well, cultural dialogue, ecological attention, mindful tourism.
It truly shows how art, science, and community stewardship, they don't have to be separate. They can coexist and actually enrich one another. This project feels like a powerful model, maybe, for how creative work can contribute to a more sustainable and culturally aware future.
Definitely food for thought. So, as you go about your day, maybe consider this idea. What if embracing technology like AI, not as some kind of replacement, but as a respectful co-creator, working alongside ancient wisdom and local knowledge, what if that combination is actually the key to unlocking really new forms of cultural expression and maybe even environmental conservation for the future?